It's 6 a.m., and somewhere right now, a stranger's bank account just grew a little bigger without them answering an email, without them taking a call, without them doing a single hour of visible work overnight. That's not a myth. That's not a scam. That's a very specific type of business. And by the time we hit number 1 on this list, you're going to understand exactly why almost nobody talks about it. I'm not talking about stocks. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm talking about the most unglamorous, forgettable businesses you've probably driven past 100 times without once thinking, that's making someone rich. I pulled together 20 of them. Real numbers, real margins, ranked from good to almost unbelievable. Stick around for the last one, because it's not really a business at all. It's the single idea that quietly connects every other one on this list. And once you hear it, you won't be able to unsee it in the businesses around you. Let's get into it. Number 20, window cleaning for commercial buildings. Somebody hanging off a harness 40 floors up, squeegee in hand. It looks dangerous. It looks like blue-collar labor, and that's exactly why almost nobody with options considers it. But commercial contracts for office towers and hospitals typically run $300 to $800 per building per visit, and most renew automatically year after year without the client giving it a second thought. An operator running 2 or 3 small crews, never once clipping into a harness himself, can realistically bill somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000 a year. The real barrier was never money. It's that most people rule themselves out before they even check what it pays. That's the first pattern you'll notice tonight. The more uncomfortable a business looks from the outside, the fewer people show up to compete for it. Number 19, pressure washing. No harness, no license, just a machine in the $1,500 to $4,000 range in a city full of sidewalks nobody's touched in a year. The one-off job is fine, but the real money is the annual contract. A property manager who wants the storefront looking clean every quarter without ever thinking about it again. Number 18, portable restroom rentals. This is the business almost nobody wants to admit they're in, which is exactly why it's one of the quietest earners on this list. Every construction site, every outdoor festival, every county fair needs one, and the industry supporting that demand is worth well into the billions and still expanding. You're not selling anything glamorous. You're renting out the one thing nobody wants to own personally, and that discomfort is the wall keeping your competition thin. Number 17, modern vending machines. Forget the coin slot machines from 20 years ago. Today's units take cards, track inventory remotely, and barely need a visit. One operator scaled to around 50 machines across offices and gyms and, according to how he describes it, hasn't personally restocked one in years. He pays a route driver to do it. What he actually bought wasn't a machine. It was the right to occupy a corner that was generating $0 a month, until it wasn't. Number 16, private ATM placement. It pairs naturally with the last one. Same kind of location, same logic. Put a machine where people already need cash and don't have it, and collect a small fee every time someone uses it. A single well-placed unit in a busy bar or laundromat can realistically bring in several $100s a month in fees. And if you already have a relationship with that location from a vending machine, adding an ATM is usually just one more conversation. Number 15, bookkeeping for small businesses. Almost every small business owner hates their books, and most will happily pay somewhere between $300 and $1,200 a month just to never look at a spreadsheet again. 10 clients at $600 each is $6,000 a month. No office, no employees, just a laptop and a solid grasp of basic accounting. Number 14, residential and commercial cleaning. One person with 5 loyal weekly clients can realistically pull in $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Build that into a small crew, and it's not unusual to clear $15,000 to $25,000. The secret was never cleaning better than the next guy. It's keeping the same client paying you every single week instead of hunting for a new one constantly. Number 13, pest control. Nobody wants to think about it, which is exactly why it never stops being necessary. Once a restaurant signs a monthly service contract, it tends to renew itself because no owner wants to gamble a health inspection on a skipped treatment. It's one of the rare services where the client is often the one reaching out first. Number 12, the coin laundromat. This one genuinely surprised me when I looked into it properly. Well-run locations can bring in 6 figures a year in revenue with margins that regularly land in the 20 to 35% range. And industry data consistently shows laundromats have one of the highest 5-year survival rates of any small business in the country. Compare that to the restaurant that opened down the street last spring and closed by winter. We're a third of the way through, and it only gets more interesting from here. Number 11, self-storage. Roughly 1 in 8 American households now rents a storage unit, and that number keeps climbing every year. mostly because homes and apartments have gotten smaller while what we own hasn't. The fastest growing customer segment isn't even families moving between houses anymore. It's small online sellers quietly using storage units as cheap overflow warehouses. Number 10, heavy equipment rental. Almost nobody wants to spend a few $1,000s on a mower or a saw they'll use exactly once, so someone else buys it once and rents it out 50 times over its life. Every dollar earned after it pays for itself is close to pure profit. Number 9, reselling collectible cards. This one sounds more like a hobby than a business, and that disguise is precisely what keeps it uncrowded. Buy bulk lots, sort the valuable pieces from the junk, price them accurately, and repeat the process with discipline. Boring doesn't mean small, it means repeatable, and almost nobody treats it seriously enough to actually repeat it. Number 8, manufacturing small custom parts. Nobody dreams about making screws or plastic connectors, which is exactly why the big factories ignore the small custom orders. A manufacturer willing to take a run of 1,000 oddly specific parts can quietly build a business worth well over $1 million a year, solving a problem no one glamorous wants to touch. Number 7, simple management software for small businesses. You don't need to build the next big app. You need to remove one annoying task from a business owner who's already paying for a clunky, outdated tool and just wants the headache gone. Solve one specific problem well, and you have a customer who sticks around for years. Number 6, specialized electrical work for EV chargers and smart home systems. Same trade electricians have always done, new specialization, and it's paying off. Electricians who've picked up EV charger installation are commanding noticeably higher hourly rates than those who haven't bothered to learn it yet, simply because demand is outrunning the number of people qualified to do it. Number 5, plumbing for commercial kitchens. A restaurant cannot wait a week for a broken pipe. That single fact lets a plumber who specializes in commercial kitchens charge premium emergency rates and build a business worth well into 6 figures a year, almost entirely on urgency. We're closing in on the top now, and the next few change the math completely. Number 4, parking lots in high-demand areas. No product, no inventory, barely any overhead. Just the right patch of asphalt in the right part of town. A handful of small, well-located lots can realistically bring in a few $100,000s a year combined, with almost none of the daily involvement most businesses require. It doesn't compete on marketing or service. It competes purely on location, and location can't be copied overnight. Number 3, buying into an established service franchise. It takes real upfront capital, often well into 6 figures. But you're not inventing a system from scratch. You're buying one that someone else has already tested, already fixed, already proven. That drive-through you pass every morning almost certainly isn't owned by the corporation. It's owned by an ordinary person who decided to execute a proven playbook instead of writing a new one. Number 2, buying an existing business instead of starting one from zero. A working laundromat, an established cleaning company, a pest control route with paying customers already on the books. All of it skips the riskiest period of any new business, the stretch where you genuinely don't know if it's going to work. Businesses with steady, recurring revenue typically sell for 3 to 5 times their annual profit, because buying income that's already flowing is a fundamentally different bet than hoping it starts flowing someday. And now, the one I told you not to skip. Number 1 isn't a business at all. It's a single question that quietly separates the people who build real wealth from the people who work hard and never quite get there. Does this pay me once, or does it pay me every month? Sell someone a popsicle, and you earn once. Rent them the popsicle cart, and you earn every single month without selling another popsicle yourself. That's the invisible thread running through every business on this list. The laundromat, the storage unit, the pest control contract, the ATM sitting quietly in the corner of a bar. The customer pays, leaves, and comes back to pay again, without you ever convincing them twice. The next time any idea crosses your mind, ask yourself that question before anything else. It won't answer everything, but it filters out most of the ideas that sound exciting and go nowhere, and leaves you looking harder at the ones that actually compound. Let me be honest with you for a second. I used to look for the brilliant idea too, the one nobody else had thought of. What I eventually noticed, studying the people who actually built lasting wealth, is that almost none of them invented something new. They took something old and executed it with more consistency than everyone else was willing to maintain. We grow up hearing about the garage where the world-changing company was born, but for every story like that, there are thousands of quieter ones. People who bought a laundromat, a few vending machines, or a small parking lot, and built enough to walk away from their job without a single headline written about them. Let me tell you about 2 people. We'll call them Ryan and Marcus. Both were 34 when they decided they wanted more control over their time. Ryan spent almost 2 years chasing the perfect idea, an app, a product, something nobody else was doing yet. He put real money into launches that never quite took off, mostly because every idea he tried was competing against 1,000 other ambitious people chasing the exact same attention. 7 years later, he's still employed, still tinkering with the next idea, and still feels like the clock is running out on him. Marcus skipped the search almost entirely. He bought a small laundromat that had already been operating in his town for over a decade. Real customers, real cash flow, already moving before he signed anything. While he was still paying down the loan, he added 2 vending machines in a nearby gym almost as an afterthought. About 4 years in, the combined income let him leave his day job for good. Today, money moves into his account while he sleeps, and nobody looking at his quiet, unremarkable life would ever guess that's how he actually built it. The difference between Ryan and Marcus was never intelligence. It wasn't luck, and it wasn't starting money. Ryan, if anything, put in more hours those first 2 years. He just chose a field where 1,000 people just as driven as him were fighting over the same narrow spot. Marcus chose a field almost nobody wanted, and quietly had it nearly to himself. If you made it this far, you now have something most people who click on a video like this never actually sit through. The whole picture. 20 ordinary, forgettable businesses, and one underlying question that connects all of them. If even one of these changed how you look at a business you'd normally scroll right past, the like button genuinely helps this reach someone else who needs to see it. And if you want more of exactly this, real, unglamorous ways people are quietly building wealth right now, stick around and subscribe. I'd love to know in the comments which one of these 20 surprised you the most. I'll see you in the next one.